Moment of silence. All right, man. It's a fucking sad occasion in which I gotta address these 36 people who listen to me today. As of recording yesterday, the creator of Berserk, the greatest manga series of all time, passed away. I don't know what caused his death. He was 54, but what we gonna do right now is really dig deep into why his series was the greatest and he was the greatest. Fuck all those complaints. Fuck the complaints about the hiatuses and all that. We ain't here for that today. I ain't got no script. I'm just tell you my personal experience with Berserk. I was introduced to it, how old was I? Maybe 13 or 14 by my uncle through the 1997 series. Well, by my father by way of my uncle. Gave me the DVDs, 25 episodes. One day, all 25 consumed. And if you know anything about the story, that's just the Golden Age arc and one little pinch of the Black Swordsman arc. That's just the Golden Age arc. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, this shit made me start reading mangas, and I don't even like reading those. That's what it did. Like, that's the power of this. That's the power of Berserk. A medium that I never took interest in before it. Right? And they did say that the anime was always meant to be like an advertisement for the manga, where it worked. Let's get into some of the ins and outs of this amazing story by this amazing creator. It was started back in 1989, a year after my birth. You know what I'm saying? The story is still going as of today. I don't know if anybody is really fit to complete it. That's not him. It may just need to stop where it's at. But the power and the depth of some of the characters that were created through this manga series is just unheard of, especially at the time in this medium, in the manga / anime medium. I know Akira and all of those things are out, but those were short, contained stories. Like, Berserk is a long-running series. It's been running for 32 fucking years, for God's sakes. Number one, this man created the baddest ass of motherfuckers ever created in anything. Anybody on TV, in comics, manga, anime, video games, any of those protagonists you see carrying a big ass sword around, it's just 3 or 4 times the size of their body, you know where that came from. All of them. Cloud Strife, the motherfuckers from Bleach, Ichigo, whatever his name is, and the list of others. Asta from Black Clover, carrying around big ass 400 or 500 pound, 1,000 pound swords that they shouldn't be able to swing. All copies of Guts. Guts, somebody that you're not even sure that you should root for when you first meet him. Guts, somebody you see him just to get to his goal, banging out a demon woman just to get her vulnerable enough where he can cut her up into fucking pieces, because it's all means necessary for Guts. Single-minded, revenge only, no mercy. That's what this guy started out as. Or that's what you start out. That's what you see him as when the story starts. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what has driven him to this point, but you just know that you may be you may be rooting for evil when you first see him, because he cares about his goal and nothing else. As the story goes, you see what drove him to that point. A broken childhood, born from the corpse of a dead mother who was hanging from a tree. This made let me not skip too far ahead. Taken in by a mercenary band, looked at as a curse by his surrogate father, Gambino, or adoptive father, however you want to say it. Gambino's wife dies, he blames Guts. What happens after that? Guts is nothing to him. Uses him, sells him to other men to be used as a pleasure thing. Then tries to kill him. Guts defends himself, kills Gambino, but what happens after that? Ostracized by the mercenary band. That's what I'm talking about, that type of depth of character. So we start to see what drove this character that we see at the beginning as a merciless, ruthless murdering machine with a big fucking sword. We start to see what shaped and molded him in this masterful way of storytelling that in medias res has never been used better than in Berserk. Start you off in the middle of Guts' journey and then take you all the way back to the beginning with what everybody thinks, or most people, especially most casual fans of it, thinks is the best part, the Golden Age. You know, that's the one that's been adopted and readapted and readapted and readapted. You know what I'm saying? It's just masterful. And then as we go through the Golden Age, because I'm not going to sit here and give a rundown of the whole story. This is just a celebration of the life of the guy, Mr. Miura, who created this joint, created this masterpiece of a story. We go through the Golden Age. We meet what should be like the hero of the story. That's what you think. When you get introduced to him, you get introduced to him as the hero. Now, if you read the manga, you kind of know this fucker's not a hero. But if you saw the anime first, like I did, I never saw what was coming at the end of this. Get introduced to Griffith and the Band of the Hawk. Casca, Pimpin', Corcus, Judo, Rickard, the whole fucking gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just masterful storytelling for him to take the whole hero and villain dynamic and just flip it on his head. You meet Griffith at first. Griffith seems like the picturesque hero. He seems like the stereotypical protagonist. But you soon come to find out that the expectations you have for Guts when you first meet him in the story, a single-minded, selfish, my goal by any means necessary, That's really what Griffith is. Griffith treats these fucking people in this band of the Hulk like he loves them, but what is he? He really is just using them as a means to achieve his goals. He doesn't give a fuck who it is. It could have been anybody. These people were just luck of the draw band of the Hulk members. It could have been anybody he came across that he saw as useful that could have joined the band of the Hulk. And that's demonstrated when he comes across Guts. He seen him as useful. He won the little wager with him. Guts lost the fight. I mean, I'm not going to give you spoil it all. Watch it, read it. Support this man. Shit, there goes my mouse dropping on the floor while I'm trying to do this. Support this man even after death. You see him induct Guts into the band of the Hulk. And of course, as he should, as you see him at the beginning of the story, if you read the manga before you ever get to the Golden Age, you know that this man is going to turn into the most powerful warrior in the fucking spot besides Griffith. Or is it really besides Griffith? That's what we come to find out. Griffith is seeing this man as a thing to be used at first, but he starts to become clouded. His judgment becomes clouded because he starts seeing Guts as more than that. But he doesn't want to see him as more than that. He wants it both ways. He wants to see him as something to be used, and he doesn't want to admit that he's starting to see him as more than just a means to an end. Guts overhears a fateful conversation that makes him decide that he needs his independence from the band of the Hulk, and what happens? Griffith, prideful as he is, his true colors really come out on full display. Fuck that, you ain't going nowhere. You can't leave us. Let's fight. Griffith thinking to himself, I'm gonna bust his ass again just like I did the first time, and then he can never leave. What happens? Guts wins the fight. He's on. Then the true villain nature of the picturesque hero comes out. He loses all control. Gets caught in sleeping with the princess. Tortured for a year or two. The hero nature of the guy who we met who looked like he was pure evil comes out. He comes back to rescue his so-called friend. But what did his friend do? Once he was rescued, once the egg of the king found his way back to him, sacrificed the whole band of the Hulk to the eclipse so he could achieve his fucking goals, so he could be a king, so he could be a god. Threw away the ones he pretended to love and the ones who really loved him to become the fifth member of the God Hand. I mean, it don't get no better than that. There's no happy endings in Berserk. Just off of that little synopsis, off of a microscopic piece of the story, just think about how many different stories you've seen influenced by those themes and those plot points and those beats. It came from the mind of one man. And just the technical aspect of it, the detail in which he puts into these panels, like it's unmatched. At least for that time, it's definitely unmatched. I know it was ups and downs with the fandom because the story was being drip fed out over the past few years, but apparently, if a person passed away at such a young age, then he may not have been in the best condition to be mass producing a story out for publication. So we never know what's going on with people behind closed doors. So all I gotta say is thank you for the amazing work that you provided, and rest in power.